Yo, what's up, everybody? It's me, Don Weep here, back with a brand new What If that I had teased on my community tab. What if Goku had Kurama, the nine-tailed fox from Naruto? Now, before we get into the What If, you guys might be wondering, how is Kurama in Dragon Ball Z? And what is going on, and how does Goku have it, for one? Now, this is what I'm going to be doing, and some of you may or may not like this. This is completely not canon, so don't stress about it. But before we get into that, make sure you guys like, comment down below what you think of the video, subscribe to the channel for more videos like this, and yeah, let's just get into this part for What If Goku Had Kurama, Part 1. Now, the first question you might have on your minds is, how is Kurama in Dragon Ball Z, and why does Goku have him? And this is where we're going to be getting into the actual lore of the What If, starting now. Inside of Universe 7, we can see that there are two extremely prominent races battling across the universe as they control different planets throughout the ages. These two races would be known as the Saiyans and the Ōtsutsuki. With the Ōtsutsuki clan and the Saiyans having clashed many times, working under different benefactors, until eventually this would have come together through the unification of the two by Lord Frieza and the Cold Empire. With Frieza's race having now grown above the two of them in power, the Ōtsutsuki as well as the Saiyans, the Frieza race had actually taken both of them by force, having them now fall under them as minions. With their new squad formations having generally one Saiyan and one Ōtsutsuki clan member sent together into Earth. With this universe's timeline, instead of just Goku being sent to Earth, now Goku as well as a young Lady Kaguya would be sent to Earth in this timeline. With Goku and Kaguya both being sent to Earth at the same time, at around the same age, both being basically young, Kaguya would still appear at the age of a young woman, because if you already understand that young Ōtsutsuki generally look like they're basically mature young adults when they're like young, while Saiyans still look like human babies. So the two are sent, with Kaguya instructed to take care of Goku. However, this would be unplanned for, as the Ōtsutsuki and Saiyans both still hate each other very much. With Kaguya and Goku both landing on Earth, Kaguya would basically abandon Goku, not killing him or taking him out, but letting the elements take him on his own path to die. With Kaguya basically abandoning this, Kaguya would go to try and terrorize the Earth under Lord Frieza's command. This is where we would see Master Roshi as well as Gohan and the Ox King who would intervene. If you all are aware of these things that Kishimoto himself has said, that with power scaling as well, that Madara is around the same scaling as Nappa from Dragon Ball Z, which is, in the grand scheme of things, is not that powerful compared to some of the other characters we run into, and I'd say that this is actually pretty feasible on what's going to happen. So, with Master Roshi, as well as Gohan, the Grandmaster Gohan, as well as the Ox King, all three grand martial artists and many other martial artists working together, this threat would be even greater than what they had faced against King Piccolo many, many years ago. With Master Roshi using the evil containment wave on Kaguya, an interesting effect would take place, and instead of Kaguya being sealed into the single bottle through the technique, Kaguya's actual energy, her chakra, the energy that the Ōtsutsuki clan possesses that the Saiyans do not, will be split into nine-tailed beasts. These beasts would now suddenly appear as they would recognize Master Roshi as a sort of Hagoromo to them, if in their perspective. With them deciding to be what they would do the tailed beasts would be divided among the martial artists, with each martial arts school receiving a tailed beast. With the actual turtle school being separated because Gohan's already graduated, Gohan himself would take on the nine-tailed fox Kurama, and he would be entrusted with it. With Kurama following Gohan back to the mountains where he would live, this is when he would find a crying baby. With the baby boy being Goku, Goku would quickly become friends with the baby Kurama, because at this point Kurama is still a brand new being to this world as well. With Gohan and Goku along with Kurama, now living together, Goku would be taking care of Kurama pretty much every day, and Goku would still be aggressive, but Kurama could pretty much fight back equally with Goku, and they'd roughhouse quite a lot. When Goku's about to fall into the ravine with Grandpa Gohan drops him, we see Kurama jump down to the ravine below to catch Goku. As Goku's about to fall into the ravine, there's only one thing that Kurama can do that he can think of, as he uses Chakra to seal himself within Goku. Suddenly, the sealing mark would appear on Goku's stomach, as Goku and Kurama would become one being, with suddenly a light of gold surrounding Goku, as Kurama would use his Chakra to protect Goku from the fall as he slams into the rock, his memory being erased, but his head actually taking no damage. Goku would become a much sweeter boy, but Goku would be more saddened because the memories that he had of Kurama would begin to fade slowly, just from the head bump as he'd begin to forget about him, since Kurama would have disappeared that same day. Gohan and Goku would have missed Kurama, but Goku would be unaware that Kurama is sealed within inside him. Eventually, that fateful night would take place, where the full moon meets Goku's eyes, as he transforms into the Ozaru, the giant beasts that had plagued the Ōtsutsuki clan with their raw strength and multiplying their power by 10 times. This ki, mixing with Kurama's chakra, would have a very interesting effect, as instead of growing into the monstrous monkey-like Ozaru, Goku would transform into the nine-tailed fox, but instead of being just the regular nine-tailed fox, this one would have red eyes, and its fur would be more sharp, spiky, and it would appear much more animalistic. This power-up from the Ozaru transformation would be what is affecting Kurama and causing him to appear in this form. With Kurama screeching as he feels the ki and chakra pushing against each other, eventually merging with Goku's ki and his chakra eventually becoming into one type of new energy. This energy we won't name, but if you guys have any ideas for what to call it, feel free to comment down below. This is a mixture between chakra and ki and is much stronger and takes the goods of both of them. Goku in this form would crush Gohan, as Gohan would die under Goku's own foot. With Goku then de-transforming out of the nine-tailed fox after the moon disappeared, Kurama would feel completely drained along with Goku, as the two would wake up with Kurama inside the seal, as Goku would open his eyes and realize what's going on. He couldn't find his grandpa, and he was all alone again. This would be around the time that Kurama would figure out how to speak with Goku, now that their two energies had become one and weren't contradicting each other anymore. Goku would hear Kurama's voice and ask where he is, turning around and looking for Kurama where he could be, as he still remembered him from when he was younger. Kurama would tell him everything that he had saw, and this means that Goku would have learned that he was the one who actually killed Grandpa Gohan much earlier on. Goku would be shattered as he begins crying, with Kurama consoling him, with Kurama in this timeline, with this version, not hating humans because Goku's the first ever Jinchuriki that he's ever had, as well as him actually having been created by humans, and Kurama not really hating them because they took care of him. So Kurama in this version's a lot nicer than he is in Naruto. With this timeline now happening, Goku would eventually recover through Kurama's help, and the two would now go on living together for several years, with Goku continuing his martial arts training that Gohan had been putting him through, and Kurama helping him along the way. Now you guys might be wondering what's going on here, and how I'm setting this up. As you already know, with Naruto and Kurama, if it was the same as KCM with what happens with Naruto in the original Naruto Shippuden, there really wouldn't be that much of a boost, because Goku and Kurama, with Naruto and Kurama, it's more of an additive. They just add their powers together. But as you might have already heard, I'm taking a more different approach and taking it to where Kurama and Goku's powers multiply by each other. So however strong Goku gets would multiply by Kurama's power as well. So that's how I'll be doing it in this one, to make it more relevant, so that way it doesn't become like Kaioken and become, useless, because that would kind of defeat the whole purpose of the what if. Anyhow, back into the story, and enough meta talking there. With Goku now having trained for most of his life, this is when he would hear a very unfamiliar sound to him rumbling into the forest. This would be, of course, Bulma's car, as she can track the 4th star Dragon Ball that Goku keeps inside of his house that his grandfather Gohan had possession of. Goku would cover his ears as he asked, "What is that sound?" And Kurama would also be surprised, as Kurama's never seen technology either before, you must remember. So the two of them would be pretty scared. With Goku turning around to see a giant metal animal seemingly crashing towards him, Goku would pull out the power pole that his grandfather left behind for him and slam it into the vehicle, stopping it with his brute strength. Bulma would then get out of the side of the car and begin to use her pistol at Goku. Goku would block the bullets as a red energy would surround him, creating 2 ears and a tail. With Goku's eyes becoming red and his teeth elongating, he would growl at Bulma and then begin to hit the car again, with Bulma telling him that she's just a human being just like him. Kurama and Goku would both calm down, causing them to now stop attacking, with Bulma being scared out of her mind. Bulma would ask what's going on here, as Goku would say that he lives here. Bulma would try the same tricks that she did in the original to, do things that are a bit dirty with Goku, and Goku would decline as he did in the original. Kurama would also decline respectfully as he sees everything through Goku's eyes. Goku would say Kurama doesn't want to see that either, with Bulma being confused and Goku not explaining, assuming that everyone had a giant fox spirit that they existed with. Anyhow, Goku's tail would become something that Bulma would notice immediately and ask about it. Goku would be shocked as he looks at her and realizes that she doesn't even have a tail, saying that maybe she lost hers already. Bulma would be shocked as this transaction would have a similar effect to the original. Bulma would eventually go inside and see the 4-star Dragon Ball, as I mentioned beforehand, and would basically beg Goku if she could take it and explain to him how the Dragon Balls work, and how if you collect all 7 of them, then you can have any wish come true. Kurama and Goku would both be intrigued by this, and Bulma would then snap her fingers when they both decline, because it was the last thing that Grandpa Gohan had left for them. With Bulma being now out of ideas, she would then snap her fingers and ask if he wanted to come along with her. With Goku thinking about this, Kurama would push him, saying that they have been living here for a long time and it might be cool to go and see the world outside. With this push, Goku would agree, as he and Bulma would take the 4-star Dragon Ball, as Goku would wave goodbye to his house and goodbye to his grandfather, saying that he will return and become even stronger. With Goku and Kurama leaving, this is when their journey would really begin. As they're now on a motorcycle, Goku would be shocked at how fast it is, cheering as he and Bulma are now driving along the road. This would be when the ginormous dinosaur would come along and grab Bulma. With Goku being shocked at this attack, Goku would then go into attack mode when he summons Kurama and his power. "Let's do this, Kurama," he would say. Goku would tap into Kurama's power, which would give him the one-tail cloak, as he would then begin sprinting at very high speeds. Goku himself is very strong at this point. Kid Goku is very powerful in terms of Narutoverse as well. And Goku with a mere jump would already be high enough to slam this monster. As he takes his powerful and slams it down on his neck as hard as possible, the dinosaur would crash to the ground as Goku would then save Bulma, and the two would be on their way again. This would be when we would first see Emperor Pilaf now collecting his first Dragon Ball. Now, Bulma and Goku would now have made it past their first trial. Goku would be taking a bath when Bulma would offer to help him and would notice that the tail is actually real, being completely shocked, and Goku would be confused, saying that he's always had a tail. With Bulma now being more confused and explaining to Goku about how most people don't actually have tails, Kurama would also be surprised since he also has tails, and Goku would say that Kurama has tails, so he doesn't see the problem. This is when Bulma would ask who Kurama is, and this is when Goku would activate the tail cloak and say, "See?" He would point at the cloak and say, "This is Kurama," and he would tell Bulma about the fox that lives inside of him, with Bulma not believing him this time especially, and still being surprised at how weird this kid is. Anyhow, that would conclude their first adventure together, with Bulma and Goku continuing on their way to get the rest of the Dragon Balls. If you guys want to see the next part, make sure to show support for this episode so I know you guys want this. This is a little bit shorter since I want to make sure and test the waters that you guys are interested in Dragon Ball what ifs, since this is my first time ever actually making one. If you liked it and want to see more, make sure to comment down below. If you have any ideas for anything specifically, make sure to let me know as well. If you might be wondering how Kurama is named Kurama, like I said, Master Roshi would have named all of the tailed beasts in this because he was the one who actually split up Kaguya in this version. Since Master Roshi is pretty powerful in terms of Narutoverse, he's nowhere near as strong as Nappa, but the Mafuba, the evil containment wave, has been able to contain Zamasu, who is way stronger than Roshi, as well as Roshi being able to contain Frost during the Tournament of Power, so who's leagues above him as well. So I would say this is not unreasonable. If you have anything else you'd like to add, make sure to let me know. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.